Good afternoon, everyone. So first I need to apologize. I'm sick, so I'll probably have a cartoon voice. You probably can't tell because you don't know me yet, but I can tell. So shall we start? Yes? Okay, perfect. We're living in a time where no matter where we work, no matter what we do or what we want to do, your personal brand is more important than ever. And yet, it can give you professional headaches for a lifetime. That's a cliffhanger. Speaking of headaches, do you know that guy? Seems so. So, Elon Musk, who is Tesla co-founder and CEO, once texted something against the Stock Exchange Commission rules. And so they went to court, and now he has legal guardians before he tweets. So that's kind embarrassing. You don't want to ask your legal team before tweeting. So you have to be mindful of your brand. And when I was researching on personal branding, I was watching a lot of TED Talks, and one of the TED Talks has a very simple takeaway in terms of personal branding. So let me share it with you. I want to share this simple idea with you. Still not working, that's just a cliffhanger. You are Mr. Potato Head, or a Mrs. Potato Head, to be inclusive. Who knew that there were so many things in Mr. Potato's or Mrs. Potato's head? So there are so many things, there are endless possibilities, basically. And meaning that you have to make a choice. Which item should I take from my potato head that suits me on my head to show the world who I am and what I stand for? So this is the first idea that you will have to come up with some answers to start shaping your personal brand. And your brand is actually already out there because you've probably already tweeted, sharing something on social networks, attending sales enablement summits or other events, and you are already out there as a person. You've already shared something, reacted to something, share a content, like a content, etc., etc. So your brand is already there. Do you agree that the clicker is not working? That's it. Maybe it's just me. It's also very possible. Don't spoil the thing. Really? Thank you, John. The time has come for a proper introduction. My name is Aurélie Grinton. I work as a Sales Enablement and Digital Marketing Director at Verizon Media. So our business is the media and advertising industry. And how does it translate in social media, actually? I took my Instagram page. You can consider Instagram as maybe one more personal network. But is it still personal when my page, like mine, is open? I don't think so. So this is also part of the me brand I want to show the world. So I love food. I have possibly a taste for sugar. I love music, and yes, I went to a Celine Dion concert, and it was with clients. I love my home, and unfortunately, this picture belongs to history. I'm interested into hard and love striped shirt as well, as it doesn't translate to my outfit. So you may say, really, is this some kind of marketing talk? Then I'm not Coca-Cola, I'm not Procter & Gamble, should I really care about my personal brand? Yes, really, it matters. It can drive a business backward or forward, same with your career. And your personal brand will help you stand out. It's actually a strong asset as well. And there are some statistics that shows that it's very powerful to use social media in sales. So 78% of social sellers outsell peers who don't use social media. That means it's already part of the toolkit. It's commonly admitted to use social media in sales. And the other good news is that social selling leaders are 51% more likely to reach their quota. So it's usually when there's a huge wave in the crowd because everyone's really super happy with the fact of hitting the quota, but next time. So I lost the track. So more likely to reach quota, and one takeaway in this picture is that in a crowd, you always find people that are comfortable sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, standing in front of a crowd, but you also have a silent force. And this silent force may not be as comfortable as the other one to share or start building their own personal brand. So what I was talking with some of them, like do they have, is there any fear on their side sharing on social, and say, well, sometimes I just don't know what to share, just don't know what to do. I don't want people to be mad at me sharing something. So just feeling, I don't know, a bit more empowered. So the most basic, yes, sorry, when I think about empowerment, I think about Beyonce. So when you need to empower your sales team or any team actually. First, you have to convince some of them that can be reluctant sharing on social media. You have to convince the ones that can be shy to share or didn't know why to share. You have also to share some tips, how to build your profile, etc., etc. So along the way, make sure that they have everything they need to start sharing on social. But don't get me wrong, it's not about putting a mask on your face. It's about staying true to who you are and what you stand for. Why? Because first, authenticity builds credibility, and it will ultimately build trust. And trust is at the foundation of long-lasting business relationship as well. So it's not about trying to pretend being someone you are not. So you have to be confident in the content you share, because you have to be confident answering for it if you need, etc., etc. So just stay true to yourself, and yourself will help build this trust. And trust matters because we are in a human-to-human business, and we are creating connections and relationships. So this is Daft Punk, and underneath the robot, there's a human. And these connections matter. We are not just engaging, sending messaging, hoping people will like, share, etc. We don't care how many likes, how many people follow you. We care about the quality of the connection, and we care about the connections. It's establishing the connections and relationships, build on trust. And now it's almost common acknowledgement, the fact that we can build trust and relationship through social media. It's almost now more organic to engage with people on social than on the phone. How many people still pick up the phone when they receive some requests? I know that I don't. So that's now common sense, engaging with people and starting engaging this relationship through social. Because we are also fighting for attention. So this, in my mind, is a client. So for one client, how many people will request attention? What, 50, 100, maybe more? For one single person. The single person is almost FOMO, fear of missing a personal email and professional emails. So there are a lot of requests. We're asking a lot of attention. And we are not the only one. It's a very competitive environment out there in all businesses. And most of the time, they are not waiting for us to reach out. So how do we actually stand out, and how are we engaging with them and bringing us to their attention? We need to create value. need to create value to your client and prospect. This is how we will stand out. So create value, in this case, means also content. You have to bring knowledge and make sure that when you're engaging with someone, you are adding something to their day. Or is it a thought, maybe an insight you have you can share, news you thought. And this is exactly how you will be able to engage by bringing this value to the table. And again, it builds trust because you are trustworthy, spending some time with, because you are bringing this value to the table and you're adding to the day of the client or prospect. So we did some research and we wanted to create this safe place where we could provide the sales team content to create this value to the client and engage with clients through social networks and make sure that they are empowered and they are confident enough to use it. That's why I call this a safe place. And again, a safe place in my mind is Frozen Castle. In this safe place, we organized the content, and I came up with this French startup called Sociable to develop this, not to develop because that's their business, but to deploy the platform they offer in our business with content, our content, but also content from third parties, from industry partners. And we also needed the solution to be scalable because I cover EMEA and LATAM, so I can't really do it for one country. It has to be scalable as well. It has to be cross-device as well, desktop and mobile. So which content can we find on the platform? So there are automated content feeds that go directly to the platform. So this is what you can consider being our official channels, for example, our LinkedIn handles, Twitters, etc. It has already been posted, so you can consider as official from the company. But there are also curated content suggested by the user. So any article that is interesting or worth sharing, any updates, is it something that Verizon or Verizon Media appears on the press? So this is also something worth sharing. And you can also create original content. And of course, it doesn't come as a surprise that you have more people sharing content or uploading, curating content than creating original content. That's how it works. And it doesn't come as a surprise. There are a few other things to consider on top of the content. It's inviting your users to share their benchmark, because if you want also to create value, that's a very simple one and interesting one where you create value horizontally in a way, because an update on a client in Germany, for example, can be useful for someone in Brazil to reach out to the client, like, I've seen that you did this in Germany. Is it something I can help? Is it something that you will replicate? Let me find out some insights, etc., etc. You can also, in the spirit of empowering the users, suggest some content to share as is for the ones that are scared just to, or don't know what to share. So you can suggest content that goes with it, and they can change it or not. You have also to empower moderators, because I didn't mention, but the content that is submitted goes through moderation, because we have to make sure that it's how it's aligned with our editorial line. It's aligned, it's something very simple. Sometimes the article is cut in the middle just to make sure that the user experience is good enough and is worth sharing for everyone. So you have to empower them just to make sure that the platform is up and running. We have the quality of content we want, and we did the cleanup as well. And also something very powerful is relying on the leadership team, because having them reminding the teams that there's the platform they can use, how important social can be to engage with clients as well. This is also something that is very helpful, having the leadership team on board. So start by training the leadership team, et cetera, so they see the value, so they can share the value, et cetera, et cetera. Everything's about network. But truly, there's no right or wrong here. It's just a test and learn approach, because what's good for me may not be good for your company. So it's also about just trying things. And is it working? no? Should I drop it or should I just do it differently? So just try, see how the user reacts. Also ask a lot of feedback. That's also very interesting talking to the users, because you understand first how they use it. I've discovered some usage of the platform thanks to them as well, and I have my own that I can share with them. And just to take an example, for example, that's what we did at the Mexico, which is an EMEA tentpole that's in Germany in September. So it's a tentpole mostly for France, Germany, and UK. And we created content, the content that was on the platform ready to share. We had the team on the ground, but we actually, thanks to the content we developed, the thing that everything was in the same place, we had the support from the whole sales team that actually supported their affiliates on the ground by sharing our presence where the booth is, how the live coverage of what was happening, the speakers we had on stage, etc., etc. So we all benefited from this larger network than just people on the ground. On the platform, we had also internal newsletters with all the updates, all the content that was available to share for them. And it was actually, this is when I was talking about test and learn, it was the first time that we did it very so narrowed on a specific event, and we had the best open rates and click-through rates we ever had on a newsletter, thanks to this newsletter. So that's why sharing is also caring, because it was, in this way, a very supportive system we put in place for the teams on the ground. And for an organization, what's also interesting is that you actually really empower your sales force as individuals as well. You are helping them shaping their personal brand. They can use it in their personal life, and even with recruiters, not now, but later. And you can benefit from a stronger network. You can go beyond your own company's network. So that's why 1 + 1 = 3, because you're going beyond your organic audience you can reach on social media. And this is thanks to the employee advocacy. You can also having a better circulation of information because everything's on the platform. So any updates you have on the company, any updates you have on the country, you'll find it on the platform. So you'll also find out that the users are more informed with what's happening. And when they didn't know where to find the information, they have it centralized here. And you can also save money in the case of the employee advocacy. This is money you won't spend on earned media. And obviously, you will also gain some money and increase your revenue by having your team more successful on social media. And you have to train the teams as well. You have to take it on tour, and which was also a very enlightening experience in this whole deployment of the project, because I had to meet the whole teams. So I went in Brazil, I went to Italy, I went to Spain, I even went to the UK, to train the teams. And it was super powerful for me as well, because we could have this conversation, understanding how their business worked, how they were selling, how they could leverage the social media. So it was also something that was very helpful, because I remind you, we are into a human basis business, and just to end up quoting Daft Punk, we're human after all. So thank you very much.
One of the things I've noticed, just kind of being in the sales world, is that some people take the idea of social selling to kind of the extreme, where they're constantly posting things that sometimes seem irrelevant to their personal brand or even the corporate brand. Do you have kind of a strategy or an approach to, discourage people from kind of oversharing and not doing it in a, where it feels personal, but trying to make sure that they're keeping the content, business related, and again, empowering their personal brand? Have you come across that?
So we have, in the platform, there's a tool where you can schedule your posts. because like I actually said when I do some trainings, is that when you go to the platform, it's very likely that you will find more than one piece of content you'd like to share. But there's no point if you start sharing like crazy and then not sharing for 5 days. So having these scheduling features help also having a pace of sharing that's it's not as crazy. And something I did not mention and I wanted to mention it is actually the content mix. I think it's also very important to share third-party content in the mix. And it's not about, and this is again another point I make to the team, is that it's not me asking you to share companies' updates. So I'm not asking for people sharing all our content all the time. It's just sharing the content you're confident with and that will help you build this long-lasting relationship and delivering better business outcomes as well. So in the platform, we have content, our own content, but we're also open to third-party content, whether it is industry partners, because it helps position also as an expert. If you see, if you show your network that you know what's happening in your environment, in a vertical, whatever, it helps also building this expertise and showing it to the world. And third-party content helps also a lot.
Do we have any more questions for Aurélie?
With social media, it's about creating that engagement with your buyers. It's a warm conversation. They're showing interest in you. Is there ever a strategy where you positioning your social media in terms of where to the buyer journey, so actually attaching to the buyer journey, or it's separate to a marketing, to the actual marketing mix?
I'm not sure I got your question.
Hello. What's English? Your social media is to engage.
Yep.
You've also got your marketing, your traditional marketing platform, which should be linked to the buyer journey stages of the buyer journey with specific content. Would you link the social media strategy to the buyer journey as well, or separate? It's a different.
There are two things here. The social strategy we have as a business and the social strategy you can have as an individual. So as a seller and has us as org. So in this case, I just took social selling out from our support system that we provide in the marketing team. But of course, there are. It's part of the touch points we have with clients and prospects, but we have others and we have other triggers as well. But in this case, it's more supporting the sellers, provide them with a tool to find this content and to reach out to their audience.
Okay, thank you so much, Aurélie.
Thank you very much.